Welcome. Today we're talking about this 2018 Jeep Wrangler Sport S. The Jeep's been around for about 80 years now, and it's no surprise that it's gained quite a following. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can't go for a drive on the road and not see a Jeep out there. I really struggled with finding the location to film this review, because as Jeep owners will tell you, when you drive a Wrangler, you can only park on a snowbank. However, I couldn't find any, so this will have to do. In the 80 years of Jeep, it's collected quite a cool history. Let's dive into it. So as everybody knows, the Jeep got its start in World War II. Pretty much the Army was like, yo, we need a vehicle to transport some stuff. Here's 50 days to give me a prototype. They reached out to 135 companies and only 2 responded, Willis Overland and Bantam. But then they realized Bantam's too small of a company. They couldn't meet the demands. So they said, hey, Ford and Willis Overland, can you guys go do that thing for us? And they said, sure. So Ford came up with the Pygmy and Willis came up with the Quad. Both look very similar to the BRC, Bantam's prototype, but the Army liked the Willis design better. But they needed a lot of vehicles to meet their demands. So they said, hey, Ford and Willis, you guys can both build them. However, we're going to use the Willis design. So they both got to work. Ford called theirs the GPW and Willis called theirs the MB. Ironically, Ford would take the 11-slot grille from the BRC and change it to a 9-slot grille because it was cheaper and faster to make. This would be the new face for Jeep down the road, except it'd only have 7 slots, of course. After the war, Ford got the contract for the M151, the vehicle that would replace the Jeep. Ironically, they tried using that 7-slot grille that was used on the original Jeep that they helped design, but they couldn't do it because it was trademarked by the Jeep. So they switched from a vertical grille to a horizontal. The first vehicle to ever get the Jeep nameplate was the CJ, which stood for Civilian Jeep, and came out right after the war. It held on until 1985, and it was replaced by the YJ. Now, the YJ caused riots because it did something so unbelievable. It had square headlights instead of round headlights, and Jeep owners couldn't stand the change. So the YJ hung around until 1997, when it was replaced with the TJ, again going back to the round lights, and the Jeep owners could put down their pitchforks and torches. The TJ would hold on until 2007, when it was replaced by the JK, and then the JK held on until 2018, when it was replaced by this current JL. The differences between the JK and the JL are few and far between. As you can see here, there's no Jeep emblem on the grille. Also, the headlights start to enter the grille. And the indicators have moved from over here to out here on the side fenders. On the sides, there's 2 changes. There's these vents here on the new JL, and they're pull handles instead of having a button like they did on the old JK. And in the back, really the only thing that changed is the taillights. As you can see, these go in a little bit, whereas the other ones were completely square. So this is a 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL Sport S trim, unlimited because it's a 4-door, and it has 17-inch alloy wheels and it's in granite crystal metallic. If you choose the 2-door, you get an 18.5 gallon fuel tank, whereas if you choose the 4-door, you get a 21.5 gallon fuel tank. It comes with either a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic. It comes standard with a 3.6 liter V6, or you can get the 4-cylinder turbo, and it has a max towing capacity of 2,000 pounds. I gotta say, driving a Jeep is nothing like driving a car. And that's mostly because when I drive a car, I don't have to weigh with everybody who drives something that looks similar to mine. As you may know, the Wrangler has several Easter eggs hidden on it. I made a video on that already, link in the description below. So how's the Wrangler drive? Well, let's start positive with the good. There's more than enough space for passengers in both the back and the front seat, and there's even floor drains built in for when you're getting wild. Here, there's a decent amount of cargo space, as well as some secret compartments for storing your gear and other things. The Wrangler sits up pretty high, so it gives you pretty good vision. And the 3.6 liter V6 gives you more than enough power. Also, it comes standard with a backup camera, and this one has 2 packages on it. The Quick Order 24S, which gives you auto headlights, security alarm, remote keyless entry, and power heated mirrors. As well as the safety group, which gives you rear parking sensors, blind spot indicators on the mirror, and LED taillights. So here's what's mediocre about this Jeep Wrangler. As you can see, technology-wise, there's nothing too crazy in here, and the speakers are nothing to write home about either. I've heard better quality out of some Bluetooth speakers. Alright, so what's bad about this Wrangler? Well, my biggest complaint comes from right here, the steering. And it turns out that I'm not alone. Of the 1,100 complaints received on the NHTSA, 800 of them involve steering. And that's not to mention over 10 recalls, so you can bank on this thing not being that reliable. When you're driving this, you're constantly adjusting the wheel, like one of those characters from an old cartoon that's constantly going like this while they're driving down the road, somehow going straight. It's seriously a chore. And not to mention, Jeep has never heard of the word aerodynamics, so every gust of wind tries to pull you out of your lane. Most people think, because of the size of the Jeep, that it's going to be safe. But that's not necessarily true. It didn't even receive an IHS top safety pick. In the small front overlap crash, it received a marginal score. So it's marginally safe in some crashes. That's reassuring, right? This may sound dumb, but another complaint that I have is that there's poor interior lighting up front here. As you can see, when the lights go out, you can't really see anything up front here. And there's a perfect spot right above the mirror that Jeep could have put another light. Unfortunately, there's not too much to compare the Wrangler to. Sure, there's other 4x4s on the road, but not ones that you can take the doors and the roof off. So it wins by default, for now of course. So the pros for the Wrangler is it offers great vision, It's very spacious, it's powerful enough, and it's capable for some moderate off-roading. A snowbank or two, or a gravel parking lot will be fine. The cons for the Wrangler are its awful steering, and it's probably not going to be that reliable. The purpose of the Jeep is simple: to be pretty good at off-roading, and nothing more than decent on the road. And I can absolutely assure you, it's nothing more than decent on the road. Sure, the steering sucks, but I'm sure somebody at Jeep will tell you that's just to help with the off-roading, or keep you from rolling over at high speeds. But it seriously is a chore, something that you have to feel to understand. And with over 1,100 complaints and 10 recalls in less than 3 years, it's probably going to be as reliable as a McDonald's ice cream machine. But hey, it's a Jeep thing, and I guess I just don't understand. So for now, it sits at the top of its class, like the valedictorian of a homeschool, until the Bronco comes around later this year for some real competition. Unfortunately, this may be my last video for a while, so bye for now, and of course, please put any questions or comments below. Thank you.